Hey guys, what's up? It's Jonathan Schlanger. I'm a Star Diamond coach with Team Beachbody, and today we're going to be talking about money objections. Um, this is one of the most difficult parts for people to overcome and learn. Uh, it's a real part of something that's really important because, we're not pushy salespeople, and when someone says they don't have money, we don't want to push them to have the money. But unless your market is people who don't have money, people do have money. Maybe they're just not saying it's for you. But I get it. Some people really don't have the money, right? And no matter what you say, no matter what you do, they're not going to buy. But if you really want to help people and you have that bulletproof vest that you can really change someone's life, learning how to overcome money objections is key. So I want you to listen to this audio real quick. Okay.
But life goes on. Remember that. Money isn't real, George. Doesn't matter. It only seems like it does.
And it's the same thing with money objections. That they're not real. I mean, they're there, but when you learn how to handle them, we become better and we can help more people. So Zig Ziglar, as you see on the screen here, people buy what they want when they want it more than the money it costs to buy it. The first time I heard that, it was like, he starts talking about desire. So last fall, there was a program that came out, Core to Force. It's on my hat. It's on the sweatshirt that you see in the picture. But there was this sweatshirt that I bought, when Core to Force first came out, or looking to buy, and it was sold out instantly. And I saw that it was going to come out again in December. And, I put it on my calendar, and 3 weeks in, I started looking at the website every single day. And then one day I woke up right before I was doing my workout, and I saw that the Core to Force sweatshirt, not the one I'm wearing. Okay. Not the one I'm wearing. There was a long sleeve one. It was wintertime, right? So I clicked the button. I made the purchase, $45. And I was so happy because that's exactly what I wanted. It was the one that says Brawler on it, right? So about 2 days later, I'm looking at my online banking. I'm looking at my credit card statement. I see refund. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I know honey tastes better than vinegar. I learned that. So even though I was upset and pissed off, I actually went up or I called up the next morning because I couldn't do anything about it while I was at work. I called up the next morning and I asked the guy, what's going on here? I called up customer service and he says, well, yeah, they sold out. I'm like, yeah, but I made the purchase. He says, yeah, but they sold out and they couldn't fulfill the order. But I made the purchase. Yeah, but they couldn't take it down. I'm like, oh, that's ridiculous. I was so upset. I'm like, yeah, I think that's kind of unfair. And he says, well, they have this other sweatshirt online. It's the sleeveless one. And I'm like, I don't really, at the time, I'm like, that's not the one I want. It's a cool sweatshirt. I look, you see it there, but it's not the one I wanted. And what I'm about to tell you is going to be real key. What instituted me to make the call is because the money was refunded to me. But when he said to me, oh, you can have this other sweatshirt, the first thing that went through my mind was, yeah, I don't have the money for that sweatshirt. Money was returned to me, but I didn't have the money. Right then and there, it clicked. I'm like, this is what happens with other people. This is why we have to build desire in what people want. There's 5 reasons why people don't buy. It's no trust. They're not in a hurry. There's no need, no desire, and obviously no money, right? I eventually bought this shirt. I got it for half price. And just to, finish the story, when people want something bad enough, they'll find a way. I got the long sleeve sweatshirt, cool Brawler sweatshirt, right? So, as you can also see in the photo here. So, but my point is this, look, money is real. Is this real objection that comes up, right? But it's not a real objection. You know, oh, I don't have the money, right? You don't have the money? Well, how did you eat today? You know, I don't really say that to people. Well, sometimes I do, but, you know, sarcastically. Sometimes they say, you know, they don't have the money. Well, when they say that I don't have the money, means they don't have the money for you yet. Okay? That's expensive. That's expensive? Okay. So you're saying $4.33 for a shake is expensive, or brownie, or whatever it's called, or a smoothie, whatever, however you want to do it. You know, my car payments are 400 and change. My mortgage payment is, you know, mortgage, taxes, insurance is over $2,000. That's expensive every month. Wow. Okay. People have a fear of losing money. They do. Anytime anyone buys anything, there's always that little fear factor. And, you know, they say the fear of loss is greater than a desire for gain. So maybe they're making a mistake, especially when it's something new. I love this one. They don't get paid until next week. Do you know how the economy works? You know why there's inflation? It's because there's credit in the economy. Oh, you don't get paid until next week? Great, you get paid next week. That means you can buy it now and pay off your card before you even get the bill. Okay. So anyway, so there are, I mentioned before, there are 5 reasons why people don't buy. You know, there's no trust, you know, and you got to be a good person. You can't be one kind of person and another type of coach. They're not in a hurry, and, you know, I can always teach you how to handle that one. It's not too pertinent here. No need. Well, thank God. You know, we talk about needs-based client solutions, but, you know, people don't buy what they need. They buy what they want, right? You know, how many TV sets do you really need? How many pairs of shoes do you really need? How much food do you really need? How many ties do you really need? You know, people buy what they want, not what they need. Thank God. No desire. Now, this is the biggie. Again, people buy what they want when they want it more than the money it costs to buy it. So when people talk about wanting things or helping them want something, you know, we do it by asking questions and understanding what their needs, which are their problems that they want to solve. Remember, people have a problem, they want a solution. What we have to do is raise the value, and we have to talk about what's in it for them and going over the customer benefits. I mean, think about it. If there was a product that was $25, unless you're giving away to charity, would you spend $100 for it? No. Okay. Well, what if I use my 3 best closes? Would you spend $100 on something that was really only worth $25 or less? Probably not. Would your customer? No. But if you saw that it was definitely worth it, I'm going to get into an example a little later, you're definitely going to see why we can increase the value, increase the benefit, decrease the what's in it for me, what's in it for the customer, to help them understand that there's a need for it. They want the product. It's going to help them, and it's going to be they're going to be better off with it than they are without it. All right. So it all comes down. People buy on emotion, and they justify with logic. They have to have the desire for it, and they have to give the reasons why they bought it. People buy on emotion, justify with logic. Okay. Now, the first thing I'm going to go over is that's expensive, right? I kind of gave, some examples earlier, but one thing that you can say, and you may want to get a piece of paper and a pen if you haven't gotten this down, something you can say to kind of smoke out whether it's the real objection, remember, it's not real, is this. If you say to someone, if they say, well, that's expensive, and you say to them, well, if there was a way that I could show you that the price is more than fair and that Shakeology is worth every penny, would you give it a try? That is almost like a perfect way to see if it's the money or if there's something else. Now, if he says, well, no, well, then you say the following. Well, then there must be some other reason other than it being expensive. Can I ask you what that reason is? Now they're going to start telling you the real objections. Now, if it is money, you've isolated the objection. That's exactly what you want. right? So you follow up with the following. Yeah, follow up with the following. Cool. Let me ask you this. Do you like the product? Do you like the benefits? Do you like what I told you it's gonna do for you? And they say yes, but the price is high. Well, you say to them, well, wouldn't you agree that it's difficult to pay too much for something that you really like? Right? Think about it. Have you ever paid a little bit extra so that you and your significant other or girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever it is can sit right next to each other on the same plane? Have you ever paid a little extra for some nicer shoes to make sure they're the ones that you really wanted? Have you ever paid extra for extra features on a car? A car gets you from A to B. Have you ever paid extra for cars to make sure that you really liked it because if you want to experience what it feels like to get into that car and cruise down the highway? It's difficult to pay too much within reason. I mean, I'm not going to pay $100 for something that's only $25. That's why I designed my last car, because I hated always overpaying for stuff that I didn't even want because there was a certain little feature that I wanted. That's overpaying. But a little extra is pennies. All right. So I said before, fear loss. Fear loss is, when people buy something, fear loss is greater than the desire for gain. So when someone makes a purchase, they really want to make sure that they're not losing. So, I mean, yeah, with Shakeology, we have the 30-day money-back guarantee, or the bottom of the bag guarantee, it's called. We can always send them a link and show them in writing. But the one thing that I believe and love about Beachbody is the quality that they put into their products. But getting back to the paying a little extra, and this is good for the ladies that, and I wrote this down so I got the point across. And this is ladies or guys with wives and or girlfriends. Do you or anyone you know have some unused cosmetics at home in a drawer? I mean, on the right side, we have that Wet n Wild stuff, the cheap stuff you buy in like Walgreens. And on the right, we have Dior. All right. Chances are excellent that the cosmetics that are perfectly good, in good condition, and nothing really wrong with them that you have in the drawer at home, but they've been in the drawer for several months. They're not being used, and they're not going to be used. But these cosmetics are not quite dried out yet to throw away. So what happens? You decide to keep them, or your spouses do, for not another 6 months until they're totally worthless. Now you can justify throwing it away, right? Question: would it have been better to have paid a little bit more than expected instead of a little less than you should to get exactly what you wanted? The extra cost can be measured in pennies. As it is, you lost pennies and you lost everything, right? With the cosmetics that are just sitting in the drawer. But think about that for a second. You pay a little extra for something good, Dior, instead of having all this stuff sitting in a drawer home. Oh, I'm gonna use it. Oh, same thing with the. I'm not even gonna go there. Something else, but anyway. So people pay for quality. They pay for what they want, right? One thing I say to customers is, John, you're going to be concerned about price. Remember, we're still on. It's too expensive. John, you're going to be concerned about price one time. That's the day you buy. But you're going to be concerned with the quality for the life of the product itself. With that in mind, let me ask you this. Wouldn't you agree that it's better to pay a little bit more than you expected than a little less than you should? That's a great one, and people really appreciate that. All right? So the key to that to remember is, why settle for the get by when in the long run the good costs less? With the cosmetics, you maybe use the cosmetics once or twice and throw it in the drawer. The Dior, girls use that all the time and they finish it and they're like, shoot, I need more of this stuff. All right. So quality is huge. Now, cost over price. This is one of my favorites. All right. Cost versus price. John, if you could convince yourself, and not if I could convince you, if you could convince yourself that the price is more than fair, maybe even save money by getting started, would you have any objection to getting started today? This is someone says it's too expensive, your price is too high, etc. If you could convince yourself that the price is more than fair, maybe even save money by getting started, would you have any objection of getting started today? So if they say, yes, I'll try to convince myself, great. Say something like this: John, since you're obviously concerned about price, let me make certain we're communicating. Is it price or is it cost that you're concerned with? Most people get stumped with that one, right? So the next thing we do is we say something like this. Because what they're going to say is, what do you mean? Price or cost? Like, what's the difference? I explain it to them. Let me explain it this way, Mr. Customer. In our example, the average lunch in the United States is about $7. $7 times 30 lunches in a month is $210. Shakeology, on the other hand, is $4.33 per meal. Times 30 lunches is $129.95. So $210 minus $130 is $80 savings in a month. In a year, it's $960. And in 10 years, it's $9,600. I don't see $9,600 sitting around anywhere, do you? Really? Dude, you're overpaying. So it's costing you more not to be drinking Shakeology, right? That's what I tell people almost every time. So one thing I say once I show them that, or I explain this to them, and people see more of what they believe. So you got to write this stuff down, whether it's in a chat box, on a text. If you're face to face with someone, you write it down on a piece of paper and you give it to them and let them read it and hold it, right? But I say, John, now let me point out, price is a one-time thing, and cost is going to be something you're going to be concerned with throughout your life. So again, is it price that you're concerned with, or is it cost, right? They're going to say cost almost every single time, right? Okay, once they do say cost, you say, well, since you're obviously cost conscious, can you think of any reason why you shouldn't immediately start saving money? Who's going to say anything that negative to that, right? What's going to be a reason? Why should you not start saving money, right? So this is something I follow up with. This kind of instills them to take action. If you were going to start saving money, when would you want to start? Right now. Great. Let me help you get started. All right. Now, for people who say the price is too high, this is one thing I love saying to them. John, I'm glad you're concerned about price because that's one of our most attractive advantages. Would you agree that for the most part that a product is worth what it can do for you and not what you have to pay for it? Yeah, it's what people can do. That's what it is. I want that. Then you just start discussing the customer benefits. And remember, all the customer benefits are things that are emotional. They're things that they want. I want more energy. I want more. They're not measurable. They're non-logical. They're things that get people to take action. Whether it's more energy. I want to look good in pictures. I want to not get ill. I want to be able to recoup faster. I want to fit in my wedding dress. So many different things. So customer benefits, completely different topic to discuss. This is a funny one. If you notice, there's she's selling water for $10. They're in the desert, and you see the guy over on the right hand side. He needs water. Now let me tell you this: if this guy needs water, right? How much is water? Water's free, right? And you can get bottled water in Costco for I don't know, it's like $2.49 or $3.49, or even if it was $4 for 24 or 32 bottles, right? She's selling one glass of water for $10. If you needed that water, it was what you were going to die, and you needed that water to survive, I guarantee you wouldn't haggle over the price. You wouldn't say it's too expensive. You're like, here's the money, here's my card. I need water. I need to survive. I want that water. Guess what? Price is a moot point. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. I'm sure you've if I don't know, when I was in college, I remember beer. I don't really drink much now, but it was like $1 or $2, for a bottle. I remember going to New York City. It was 10 to 12. I don't even know. It could be more now. $10 to $12 a bottle. Who's overpaying? You pay because of the experience. You're with your friends. You're having a good time. You pay for the experience. That's what we're doing. Okay? It's all perception. Now, here's a really important one, which is what gives you a bulletproof vest, no matter where you are, who you're talking to, right? And this is long, so you can, rewind the video and copy it down, but I'm going to read it to you now, okay? John, Beachbody had to make a choice. They made a choice between making Shakeology as cheaply as possible and selling it as just another shake. The other option was to build quality into it for everyone's long-lasting enjoyment. Beachbody has a vision to be the #1 health and fitness company in the world. Do you think a company that with this type of vision would sacrifice poor quality with the chance of damaging their reputation? Beachbody's leaders drive this company with purpose, vision, and passion for helping people, and they will not put themselves, their associates, the coaches, or their customers in jeopardy. Powerful. And then I follow up with this. I repeated it, but that's okay. Did I? I think I did. Yeah, I doubled it up. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. So with this mission, they put themselves in the customer's shoes. They felt people would prefer to deal with a company that puts everything possible into its product. And this is for people who's like, well, why is the price so high? Can't you lower the price? No, we increase the value. Well, no, we're not lowering the price. Coaches, learn how to raise the value. That's what's important. And this is why it's at a cost point where it needs to be because of the quality and what goes behind it. So they felt people would prefer to deal with a company that puts everything possible into its product to make sure it's the best and most useful, rather than a company that just uses cheap ingredients, cheap labor to produce a get-by product. Most people, John, which I will bet includes you, clearly understands that good things are not cheap and cheap things are seldom good. You do want something you can depend on, don't you? The good of mankind has... you do want something you can depend on for you, the good of mankind, and has purpose behind it that will be there for years to come, don't you? I mean, you can reword this however you want. It's not set in stone, but this is good stuff. So, what was I supposed to put there? Oh, I think I remember. People, it could be at the end, so if I repeat this, don't worry about it. People will always forget, will forget price, but they'll never forget quality. Never. Has there ever been a time where you bought something and it was terrible? You'll never go back and you'll tell everybody about it. But if you bought something, I bought this sweatshirt. I mean, because of the situation, I remember the price, but I'm sure, I don't know, I can pick up anything here. This blanket, this throw blanket. I don't remember how much it costs, but it keeps me warm. That's what it does. It does what it's supposed to do. Cost is irrelevant, right? So getting back to the whole desire thing, when people say no, doesn't mean not now. It means they don't have enough information to say yes. No matter what happens, price will, when you see what happens is there's a set of scales going on in people's mind. That's how people make a decision, right? In the beginning, price will always be sky high and the quality will be, well, not quality, the value, and that's actually a bad slide, but the value seems, actually the quality seems down here until we start raising the value. That's not a bad slide at all, actually. So what we have to do is raise the value, right? So when people say no, it just means they don't have enough information to say yes. And that's where we start stacking on the customer benefit. That's how we add value to what we're doing so that they understand what's more important, what we say or how much people understand what we say and how much is in it for them. It doesn't matter what we say. They have to understand it. They have to know that it's for them and it's for their best interest, right? So, and I have it there. Prospects will never forget price, but they will always forget price, but they will never forget quality. Okay. Good stuff. And then here's one of the last ones. This is the quality close, a little extra bonus. You know, John, years ago, Beachbody made a basic decision. They decided that it would be easier to explain price one time than it would be to apologize for quality forever. And I bet you're glad they made that decision, aren't you? So, in summary, I don't remember if I put a summary. In summary, make sure we know what they want. We're not just trying to sell them stuff, right? Make sure we're understanding what their needs are, what problems we're solving, what their daily, what their day's like, what their nutrition is like. Have them realize that they need to change. Have them realize that they need a system. You know, it's not about just setting the goal. It's good to have the goal, but you need a system to follow, because once you reach the goal, if you're not in that system of, you know, eating healthy and the lifestyle, they're going to go back. Someone once said, you know, if you have a goal to lose 20 pounds, you lose it and then you gain it back. It's almost as if you never lost it in the first place, right? Yeah, they never lost it in the first place. So having a system to follow. But people will always talk about price. It wills. Once you learn on how to do it, that breakdown of it's cheaper than what they're doing, they're actually losing money every single day. I mean, I haven't even done the math, but you know, whatever 80 divided by 30 is, it's like $2 or no, $4.33. They're losing almost a $5 bill every single day. If you actually took a $5 bill out of your pocket, you know, and you just ripped it up in front of them, they'll feel that. And guess what? You're going to use the same one over and over again, so you're not wasting $5 every time. But they'll feel that. And if that happens every single day for a month, oh my God. That's a lot of money. It's not real to them. But money isn't real. But they think it is. It's perception. So, well, anyway, I hope this video helped you guys. All this stuff is like gold for me. I use it every day when I talk to people. And, you know, once I realize where and which one of these kind of topics people are talking about. I mean, the one I didn't talk about, like, you know, some of them are like, were superficial answers about, you know, oh, I don't have any money. Well, how do you eat? Well, I asked that. Well, I do have the money. I even asked someone one time, and this is important too. I asked someone one time, he said, no, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. I don't have the money. I said this. Well, let me ask you this, because he has a daughter. Let me ask you this. If your daughter needed a special medication and it was $500 a month, what would you do? You know what he says to me? Oh, I just go over to the bank. Whoa, wait a second. You don't have $130 for Shakeology. It was $200. Actually, it was $180 because it was a T25 challenge pack. You don't have the money for that, but you have 2.5 times the amount to get your daughter medication, right? What that showed me, not that he was lying, but I didn't do a good enough job at the time. There's when I was younger in the business. I didn't do a good enough job to raise the value, create the desire, and making it different. I didn't really package it up, you know. There was nothing special, you know. I didn't understand what he wanted. I was just like, hey, he came to me, he wanted to get fit. I made the recommendation, that's it. I really didn't understand what he wanted. I didn't really understand how to handle objections at the time. But I learned. And now, you know, when you learn it, it's almost as if it's second nature and it's just part of your conversation. This is why when I say to people, oh, I don't get money objections all the time anymore. What I really mean is I don't get people to say no and that be money as a reason for them to say no. Because it's not. People have money. And if people don't have money, they have credit. And there's a great video online if you want to learn how credit works and why credit is needed in the economy. What's it called? It's in the this Tony Robbins book, Money, Master the Game, right? How the economy works. I forget the exact name of it, but it's by Ray Dalio, D-A-L-I-O, and he talks about how credit in the economy works. How the economic machine works. I think that's what it's called. Check it out on YouTube. It's actually on my YouTube channel, so if you search my YouTube channel, you'll find it. But thanks for listening to this call. I hope this helps, and I hope you guys have an awesome day. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.